Well, that heat lightning, as scary as it looks, makes sense after the heat and humidity we've had the past few days. I mean, it's weird that it happened at the end of summer while we're all like working. We're like, are you kidding me? I want to be at the beach. But things are about to change this weekend.
Exactly, and actually an interesting tidbit is that there's actually no such thing as heat lightning.
Oh, see, this is why you're here.
The funny part is that it's actually from other storms that are just outside of the range in which you can see. So, because lightning can go out pretty far, even from around where the rain is, but the heat and humidity does have something to do with it. It can really give us some fuel for those storms. So when you see that lightning out there, there's a storm out there somewhere, I promise.
Always teaching me something new, thank you.
I try. And we've got plenty of lightning out on the radar here today. So we had a squall line moving through Vermont and New Hampshire earlier today, and it kind of fizzled out a little bit into the mountains, but then was able to reform very well behind that, giving some severe storms to northern Maine earlier today. And you can see that kind of line right there. That's where you can see the squall line. Right now, none of these are severe warned. They do have some lightning and some pockets of heavy rain out there, though. So be careful if you're going to be outside at night at all today. And then here we have another kind of line of storms coming through here. This one is severe warned, and it's expected to kind of travel into the northwestern corner of Maine over the next hour or so. But as we get into the overnight hours, we are going to see those storms begin to fizzle out. But high temperatures today, well above average, into the 90s once again. The good news is that things are going to start to cool down once we get into the weekend. But we've had a bunch of days with this kind of hot, very sultry kind of air out there, and another sultry night. Temperatures only getting down into the upper 60s overnight tonight, and that humidity is really going to stick around too, so we aren't going to get much relief overnight tonight. So a good idea to put on that AC if you have access to it overnight tonight. The good news is that we are kind of in that very humid air over the next couple of days, but as we get into early next week after a system moves through over the weekend, we do get into much more comfortable weather. So in the hour-by-hour forecast, you can see here that's the remnants up there of that squall line moving through, kind of giving us just a couple extra storms moving through overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning we'll start out with some fog because of that heat and humidity. Then that'll burn off into the afternoon where we'll see some storms move through. We could even see a couple severe storms coming through tomorrow, a little bit more so than we saw today, so we'll keep you updated on that tomorrow. Then as we get into Saturday, we're going to see a couple showers, especially along the coastline tomorrow, and then Sunday is going to be the really rainy day of the weekend. So for tomorrow, most of Maine is in a 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather, but western Maine and New Hampshire is in a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather for tomorrow. So we'll keep an update on that for tomorrow. Now, Hurricane Lee here, currently a Category 5. This storm is still well away from the mainland United States, so we'll keep tracking that over the next couple of days as well. So if you're going to beat the heat on the water, seas 1 to 2 feet and water 67 degrees. Not too bad if you're trying to cool off. So overnight tonight, those thunderstorms will begin to fizzle out, giving us another hot and humid day tomorrow. Some showers and storms, especially in the afternoon. Once again, we'll keep an eye on those for any severe storms. Saturday, the better of the 2 weekend days, a little warmer, a little more humid, a little drier. And then as we get into Sunday, that's when we'll start off with some showers, but especially once we get into the late afternoon and evening, we'll start to get into some of that much heavier rain. But the good news is that at the end of the weekend, Hannah, things are going to start to kind of cool down.
Okay.
We'll pull away from that like summer in September and come back to reality a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. And as far as the weekend goes, enjoy tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Dana.